plaintiff, Carlos Lara, dated the defendant for 8 years, and he claims it was a rough ride due to the defendant's alcoholism. Carlos claims once when the defendant was drunk, she tried to assault him with a bat, and then she had him arrested by claiming that he assaulted her. He's suing for malicious prosecution, property damage, and rent. Defendant Irene Jardine says when she was pregnant with Carlos's son, he denied paternity, and right before she gave birth, he assaulted her. Irene claims after the baby was born, a paternity test confirmed that Carlos was the father, but he continued to be verbally and physically abusive. She's countersuing for emotional distress.
Start with you.
Your Honor, I've known Irene for about 8 years from now, and it's been a rough 8 years, okay? I wouldn't be here today if she didn't lie to the cops and say I hit her.
Not true.
She maliciously prosecuted me.
What's been so rough over the 8 years?
Dealing with her alcoholism, Your Honor.
Wow.
What has been
pretty
occurring?
tough. A lot of things, Your Honor. You know, we would go to functions, family functions, outings, and she'll just have one too many. And she started mouthing off to people, mouthing off to me, just getting belligerent, getting loud. And it's pretty embarrassing. And I talked to her about it many times, and all that seems to do is make her drink a little more.
Not
so
true.
I try
Did you
to.
ever try to get treatment for her or ask her?
You know what, Your Honor? She hasn't even admitted once that she has an alcohol problem, nor has she even ever
How
admitted
often does she drink?
4 times a week.
4 times a
4
week?
times a week, and we're talking about some wine.
How much?
The whole bottle. So
Once
I
a
mean,
week?
We're talking about 3 glasses full, and that's the whole bottle right there. And to wash it down,
4 times a week she would do that.
pretty much. And sometimes to wash it down, she'll have a little Hennessy with it. Okay?
Oh, you are you're
Even
lying.
at home?
Lying.
At home.
That's,
Yeah.
Lying.
I mean, she
That's
she
usually
can hold some
indicative of a
alcohol.
problem if you're drinking excessively at home.
Yeah, Your Honor.
To drink until you're drunk at home is indicative of a problem. You want to give me some background, ma'am?
That's lies. First of all, it all begins with me being pregnant with my son. He's been physically abusive, verbally abusive. These confrontations happen usually because he also drinks and smokes, and every time he's high, he likes to antagonize me, likes to say that I'm cheating. Then it turns into him physically abusing me.
Now, why do you say it started with the child?
Because when I was pregnant, he denied that my son was his and said that I cheated and denied a DNA test.
Okay, how long ago was that?
7 years ago.
Has there been conclusive evidence yet?
Yes, I have a DNA test.
Are you certain?
Child's mine.
Okay.
But, Your
so there's
Honor-
never been a question in your mind?
Yes, there was.
When?
In the beginning of her pregnancy. And let me tell you why.
When did you go ahead.
Okay, I'm sorry. She would tell me it's not mine. She would either play around or being serious. That's why the baby's not yours. And
Not
hey, you know what? All I need to hear that is one time.
Okay. Ma'am, you say that's not true?
That is not true.
How did the issue of the child initially come up?
We would have arguments, but it was never about.
No, once, the first time. Yeah, I'm sure you remember that.
Nope.
Okay, he says he knows. He says it came up because you told him it wasn't his during the course of an argument, and you don't know what started the issue. I got it. All right. Go right ahead.
My son's birthday, April 12th, 2014. We had a party at the house. Friends, family came over. Everything was going great until Irene started drinking, and then she started getting violent. So
What was the issue?
she got mad, upset at me for calling around in front of everybody drinking. So she started mouthing off to me. I started mouthing off back, as we usually do, just go back and forth. She goes and picks up a bat, and she started swinging it on me. So I'm ducking and dodging the bat.
Really?
Here comes my neighbor. He grabs the bat from her.
Wow.
So then they start tussling. So my neighbor grabbed the bat from her, and she flew down the carport, and there she goes, trying to grab another bat. So what happened was, when she grabbed that second bat, it's time to call the police, because I ain't gonna go through this
Who
anymore.
called the police?
I called the police first. And then once she noticed that I was on the phone with the police and I hung up, she wants to call the police. So, whatever, the cops come, they just, we're telling each other's story, and she claimed I hit her. So, I'm like, no, I told the officers I didn't hit her.
She said you used to abuse her regularly. How often have you hit her?
I don't hit her. And let me tell you why I don't hit her, because she's gonna call the cops on me, and I'm gonna go, I can't afford to go to jail, Your Honor. I got a lot to lose.
So in this instance, the police came,
Okay.
and then what? Did they talk
Police-
to a witness?
No witness. Not that I know
Why?
of. Everybody left. They didn't want to get involved. The only one that was around was my cousin Tone, but he went in the house. You know, he doesn't like the cops much. And my, sorry. and my neighbor.
Why don't you like the cops? They're friendly fellas, for the most part. Go ahead.
Okay. And same for my neighbor that grabbed the bat. He didn't want to get involved and all. So the cops started questioning us. She said I hit her. I told the cops I didn't. And they were like, look it, we don't see a mark on her, and we know she's lying. But we got to take someone to jail. This is a domestic call, so turn around, Mr. Lara. We're going to... I'm like, oh, no, wait, stop, no. She's lying. They're like, look it, don't worry about it. We're just going to be dismissed anyway, but we got to take someone to jail. I can't take his word for that. So I'm in jail, and I have to bail out. And
bailed you out
sure
then?
enough, excuse me?
Who did you call begging to bail you out?
I'm sorry. I called her to bail me out, okay? And because she knew she
After.
did wrong,
You tell me
she
about the
bailed me
incident,
out.
ma'am.
Let me go ahead and tell
Anyone
you the
have a
truth.
police report? You have
I
your
sure
police
do.
report
Let me-
regarding that incident?
There you go.
Go ahead.
Yep.
The truth of the story is, on my son's birthday, we're barbecuing. Remind you, I cooked, I did everything for that barbecue for his birthday party. Carlos had started drinking way before people were coming. Got high and drunk. I'm cooking and I'm barbecuing the chicken. He comes behind me and puts me in a chokehold. He did that twice. His cousin was there and looked at him like, what are you doing? And that was him playing, he says. Later on that night, it turned into, we were watching the fight. He ordered the fight. So turned into him pushing me. My sister was there.
What fight was that?
The Mayweather
I can't-
fight, and he fought somebody else. I wasn't sure who it was.
Canelo Alvarez?
Alvarez.
Yes.
Yep. Good memory. Yeah. So,
He's
Your
a
Honor, I
good
didn't-
fighter, but Mayweather's the greatest.
Yeah?
Alvarez is probably
Yeah.
one of the top 5 fighters.
If he stops dancing around, then, you know, he could probably
Oh.
get
Yeah.
into
Would you
a
want him to just
good
stand
fight.
there and get beat up?
True to that.
Hit me, hit me, hit me. No, he does that.
Ducking and
Then
dodging.
he pops you. Pow! Sucker. Pow! The goal is to win.
But, Your Honor, I didn't put her in a chokehold like she's claiming I did.
Yes, you did. You
yes.
watched too much of that fight.
No, Your Honor,
Exactly.
she's saying that I did that before the fight.
Yeah, you did.
I didn't, Your Honor.
Yes, you did.
Go ahead, ma'am. So continue.
So later on, he started getting very aggressive. He gets very vicious, very violent when he drinks and he's high.
Yeah.
He doesn't know his own strength. Like he thinks I'm only 5'2". He thinks like if he pushes me, I'm not gonna fly across the room. So he pushes me, my sister sees it. My sister got confrontational with him and said, don't put hands on her again. Later on that night, there was an argument between his friend and a family member. When that fight happened, I walked the dude outside and I said, okay, you guys gotta go. So I walked down the street, walked into his car, came back. He was coming down the street, accused me of flirting and accusing me that I was cheating and slapped me across my face.
She making this up.
Nope.
Because she does
And
this all
yeah.
the time because she was afraid to go to jail that day because she was very intoxicated.
Oh, no, that is not true.
So
and
that
I
was her
have
way of
actually
backing out,
pictures of his
trying to get out
past
of a
violence.
situation.
My lip when it was bruised from him hitting me. I have a picture of him when he actually,
Past violence. And when did that happen?
that was, I believe, in May. In fact,
What happened then?
we went to a party.
Let me see the
And-
bruises.
May what?
In May, she says.
Okay.
And what happened, ma'am?
I think that was the one in May where we went to a party and again, drinking and smoking. And Carlos, I was in the restroom taking my son to the restroom. People were banging on the door. So when I opened the door and I was like, I'm coming out, that's when Carlos shook me in my lip. And so.
Just because you came out of the bathroom too?
Yeah, he was saying I was being loud.
Okay. Sir, do you recall that incident?
No, I don't. It's not true.
What happened?
Once again, we get to this kid's birthday party I was invited to, brought her and the kid.
You all do too much partying, but go ahead.
Kid's birthday
Or
party.
you should be banned from these birthday parties. Go
I'm
ahead.
done now. I'm done.
So what happened?
What happened was
she is in the bathroom like she says.
I didn't hit her in the bathroom.
What happened? Was she in there in the argument afterwards?
No. What happened was she got involved with some girl there, being
That's
drunk,
not
getting in their
true.
business. She doesn't know anybody there. And the other girls started mouthing off to her. They started mouthing off back. She went to the bathroom. I went in there and said, hey, it's time to go, because you're off the hook. She's drinking that wine and Hennessy again. And so we go,
That's not
I take her
true.
outside. We leave. We get to the house.
Will you stop lying?
Quiet, ma'am.
We get to the house. The alcohol really kicked in then. Your Honor, I'm driving.
Did you hit her? She shows me evidence
No,
of
I did- no,
something that I can't even
It's
see,
a
ma'am,
bruise.
to be
Your
quite
Honor,
frank.
That's a bruise.
That's just a
Now
big
let's
lip.
go back to these other reports.
just a big lip.
It is reported on here, previous domestic
Thank you.
disputes.
Yep.
February 14,
Yep.
twice. February 2nd, February 3rd, and then March 17.
Your
And
Honor.
this incident was in April.
Thank you.
So all of these incidents, how much time has he ever served?
None.
Why?
Because he manipulates me and I feel sorry for him. and I
Manipulates
go-
you how? Are you
It's
stuck
not-
there with him, or you don't have any family you can go to?
I don't.
You have no family.
I have my mom that's ill, but
Why couldn't you go to your mom's house? Ma'am, you are just hurting your credibility, I'll tell you that.
Your Honor.
Telling me you don't have any family to go to and you have a mother. If she's ill, that's even more of a reason to go there and help her out. Sir, what happened with this case?
Your Honor,
What happened with the case after you went to jail?
she came to court and testified. Well, I went to the DA when I got out of jail, and they said, well, if she didn't do it, have her come in the courtroom and testify. So I went and talked to her and said, hey, you need to go in this courtroom and let them know the truth, because they're about to send me
And
to
what
jail for
happened?
this. She came to court and said, swore on oath and said, hey, I did not hit him, and I am so
did
sorry.
you recant that?
I
in
did.
court?
I did.
Under sworn testimony?
Your Honor, I did because
Okay,
one,
that's perjury. You could have been jailed for that. All these disputes, yeah, I believe you all were fighting. You're probably both getting drunk, fighting each other from time to time. But you going and lying, committing perjury means that you are willing to go to jail over him. So there's something very wrong with that picture. I just don't believe you love him that much that you will go to jail for him. Doesn't make sense, and I don't think you're that stupid. Now, property damage and unpaid rent. Let's get to that.
Okay, Your Honor, we'll get to the rent first. She stayed with me in October of 2014. She stayed with me the whole month. She stayed with me.
Did she agree to pay you?
She agreed to pay me.
Did you agree to pay?
No, I didn't.
I don't believe
And
you
she
anyway.
left. And
That
she
was your
left.
woman. She ain't agreed to pay you
She left.
anything. Now let's get to this. Property damage. How does she owe you for property damage?
Your Honor, she came, I'm going to work. I got to work at 9:30 in the morning. She came over at 9:10, came in the house, and I'm looking at her like, what are you doing? I got to go to work. She goes, oh, I don't know. She wanted to argue in there. Oh, I ain't got time for this.
And what
so
happened,
I
sir?
walked her out, and then once she got out, I shut the screen door on her. And what did she do? Boom! Kicked the door and left a big old dent up in the door. And this is my aunt's house.
Ma'am, did you do this?
nope, it was again self-defense.
All right, so you never kicked his screen.
Not like he said I did, and
No,
not
you
like.
said you didn't kick it at all, ma'am. Now you're saying not like he said you did.
Yeah, I
Those
kicked
are
with
two
my
different
foot out of
things. Let's get to your
self-defense.
counterclaim for $5,000, ma'am. You're being dishonest with me. You were dishonest with the other judge. Some of this probably happened, but you being a liar has hurt you all the way through that case and now through this case. Let's get to your emotional distress. $5,000. How does he owe you for that? Give me the property damage estimate.
It's just 8 years of back and forth. Of
Right,
sitting
back
here.
and forth. You just said it. How much do you want for your door, sir? You don't have it?
Yes, I do.
Come here with this mess. You just said it. Back and forth. But you lied under oath with your arm up in the air. You just lied to me saying you never touched the door, and then you caught yourself and you said, well, I did a little, but not like he said. Both your claims are dismissed with regard to all this stuff other than your property damage, 451. She agrees that she did it a little bit. Have a good day.
Irene, you need some help? Take an alcohol class, you know. I'll help you get through that, and you know, we got a kid together, so we gotta have to do this right. So that's all I gotta say.
Still family.
Still family.
I'm done. He lies. He continuously lies and makes these stories. So I'm just can't deal with him.